I'm not ready. I'm not ready. You were no warrior.
Hello everyone, it's Enturi here, and welcome back to my channel. So today we got a day 1 early progress update on my Rampage Bear Titan League start. So I've just finished the campaign a few hours ago, and right now I'm around level 62, 63. The build is finally starting to feel like 4 bear character. So overall, the build is going pretty smooth so far. I transitioned into the full bear shapeshift after finishing Act 2, and after getting my second Titan Ascendancy node, the Mountain Splitter. So that's kind of the breakpoint where the build starts to feel like, okay, this is actually working, and it's not just scuff leveling. So the whole identity of the build is build rage smartly and then spend it explosively with Rampage. So early on, the biggest problems when I read the patch note is that you cannot gain rage while channeling Rampage. And that's just changed the whole idea around the Rampage bear build. So you just pop Rampage with a full bar and you look super cool for only a couple of seconds, and then you completely dry on rage, and then you have to build it up all the way from the start. So at first, that makes the build feel really clunky, especially in the early act where your rage generations and attack speed are low. So that's why I decided not to go with the rampage early on. So instead, now the goal after finishing Act 2 becomes, don't treat rampage as something you always hold. Treat it as a short and high impact spender that you weave in each rage generations. Okay, so once I changed the mindset and the build setups around rage outside of rampage, the build started to feel much smoother. Alright, let's talk about how this thing actually clears. So the idea is actually pretty simple. The Fierce Roar is my rage battery, and Rampage is how I cast the battery out. So when I'm mapping, it looks like I leave into the pack with pounds, I hit Furious Roar to instantly top up my rage, and then I go into Rampage and I run straight into the monster. So the Furious Roar gain 2 rage per enemy's power in range, combined with Rage and Cry. Support skill grant 4 rage for 5 powers of counter enemies in range. You add it up with the 4% chance if you would gain rage on hit, you instead gain up into maximum rage. And then also with on the rage on hit note on your skill tree, you can almost reach your maximum rage bar almost all the time, and then you just hit your rampage for a quite decent amount of times, and by the time it runs out, all the mobs around you already cleared. So the important part is short rampage. I'm not trying to hold down forever. I just used enough times to kill a pack, the whole screen, as I keep moving, and I still have a bit of rage left and ready to rebuild on the next roar. So this way, Fierce Roar and Rampage becomes very natural to generate spent, and also the combos worked very well since Fierce Roar, the bear will just stand up straight, and then the Rampage, you have plus zero point 0.5 seconds to base attack time if you're not standing, so it comes as a natural combos for the bear. And then for single target, I add Porch Hammer, which is a skill that creates fissure. In order to have Porch Hammer, you have to equip a two-handed mace on your second set, and then you use Furious Roar to activate those fissures, and then you use your slam on it, and then those fissures will deal damage to its surroundings. And you double it up with the pounds with Crater, which also creates another three fissures on the boss, and then that they're just overlapping, and the boss is just evaporating. So a few things to note here is that this build still feels lacking a lot since during the rampage you can get interrupted, and that feels is very bad. And when you get interrupted, the bear has to stand up again to did its roar and then start slamming again. So I guess the next problem we have to solve is the stun threshold. Yeah, so the stun threshold and I guess more clear on the next update. That's what I'm trying to solve. So gear wise, they're nothing fancy, so I just pick up any good gear as I leveling. So you just get live resist stat, some armor, some flat. Yeah, the flat can add a lot of damage to your build. And here's the gem setup. And I have also updated the Mobalytics link if you guys want to check that out. And I would try to keep updating it more frequently. So stay tuned for the end games build. And that's it for today. Thank you guys for checking up with me. And if you're enjoying this build so far, drop a like and considering subscribing, it really helps me out. And I'll see you in the next one.